with what the President talked about, there is need for targeted education messages and counseling to address misconceptions of the youth on infection. Now, to put all this in focus, we turn to Dr. Yunia Mayanja, a researcher at the Medical Research Council. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on NTV Weekend Edition.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Mildred.
Now, the President today expressed concern that there is a higher fear of pregnancy and subtle issues rather than the infection of HIV, especially among the young people. Are his fears justified from where you stand?
Yeah, I will look at this from two levels. So his fears are justified in a way, but we've also seen young people who come by themselves to initiate PrEP. That is a drug that prevents HIV. So it's true, many infections are happening. So when they see that happening within their communities, they are coming to willingly start PrEP to prevent HIV. So about them not being afraid of HIV, probably from where we are, we think because the generation now has not seen a lot of AIDS cases. So it was very scary when we had AIDS. People are living longer with the antiretroviral therapy, like the President has talked about, so they are healthy, they are able to go on with their daily activities, so they haven't really seen the tail end of HIV infection, and that could contribute to the complacency, that they end up being scared of pregnancy compared to HIV.
Now, in the past, we've had messages that have frightened the population into abstinence and other behaviors that, lowered the infection rates. What can be done to realize the same result? What do you think can be done? So
in the past, it's true, we had those behavioral interventions, abstinence, be faithful, use condoms. And of course, now you need to regularly test for HIV to know where you stand and start treatment if you can. But we are moving to biomedical, what we call biomedical, now using drugs to prevent HIV. So in addition to the behavior that we've had in the past, we're having biomedical interventions coming on board. And of course, there will be the structure where the policymakers and the governments and stakeholders then have to play their part for HIV prevention. So we call that combination prevention, where you're acting at all those levels, the behavioral, the biomedical, and the structure. So what we have currently in research and programs is biomedical interventions coming on board. We have oral pre-exposure prophylaxis. That is a drug taken before you're exposed to HIV to prevent HIV. And it is HIV negative people taking that. It's a pill that's taken daily as long as you're at risk for HIV.
Okay, doesn't this worsen the rate of young people getting, infected with HIV since they know that these drugs are available?
No, the drug is effective if taken well, so they won't get HIV. So it is HIV negative people taking PrEP to prevent HIV. There are risks of young people that have always been there, so rather than just look at them, then we encourage them to use prevention methods that are available. They work when used very well.
Okay, so now the uptake of some preventive measures against HIV among the high-risk population seems to be low. How can this be addressed?
Thank you for that. We've seen with the behavioral interventions being effective but not well used. Again, we're seeing oral PrEP, which is the drug that prevents HIV. It's available in the country, but we've seen low uptake within the young populations that are at risk for HIV. And within our organization, the MRC, we've done a study that assessed preferences for different products. So we looked at oral PrEP. We know there is injectable PrEP that has just finished clinical trials, and there is also a vaginal ring. And all these are products that release antiretroviral treatment for drugs for prevention. So we assessed what they feel, what they think they would prefer for a product that can prevent HIV. And I think then we need to increase on the prevention options available so that people take what they prefer. The pill that is available is not feasible for everyone. You'll find some prefer the injection, others would prefer a vaginal ring, others would prefer an HIV vaccine, although we don't have one yet. So my appeal, or what we think, is that HIV prevention options should be increased. The government has taken it a step further. These prevention options are recommended for use by the World Health Organization, so the government has included these products in the updated prevention and treatment guidelines for the country.
Okay.
So the products are approved for use by the Ministry of Health in the country. What is needed next is to get them available. Stakeholders to work, maybe within the national structures or within the East Africa community, to get these products available, not only for young people here, but young people in Eastern and Southern Africa, because it's the region that is most affected by HIV in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doctor, as you get to give us your parting shot, what does the future of HIV prevention and treatment look like?
The future is bright. There is hope because we see these prevention options coming on board. The pill is available, injectable PrEP is coming on board, the ring is coming on board. And the good thing is these products are similar to already available contraceptives. So it gives an opportunity to develop products that can prevent both HIV and pregnancy. And then at the level of treatment for people living with HIV, we also have injectable ART coming on board to help improve suppression among people that cannot cope with the pill, the ARV pill. We have point of care viral load monitoring now happen at the lower level facilities to help again prevent cause suppression among people living with HIV. So the future is bright.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Yunia Mayanja, a researcher at the Medical Research Council, for making time to speak to us.